Welcome to Cartomancy Mesquite. I'm Angela. This episode I'm entitling Thank You, Alex Jones. And there's a very specific reason for that name. Until the Alex Jones story broke, I haven't been able to watch the news at all. I used to work for the DOD and the DOJ, and their lack of following rules, regulations, or even acknowledging laws has tended to make my head explode every time I watch a news broadcast. So I had to stop doing that. But Alex Jones gave me the biggest laugh I've had in 7 years. That was hysterical to me. I loved it. So thank you, Alex Jones. I can watch a little bit of news now without my head exploding. Now, so far, since the Alex Jones story broke, his texts have been um, requested by the January 6th committee. Paul Manafort was interviewed. Mar-a-Lago's been raided. Bannon's been on air calling for violence on Fox. Marjorie Taylor and Gates have been in the news for some reason, but I really don't watch news that well yet. The Trump Saudi golf tour was probably a grift or money laundering or a possible source for the raid on Mar-a-Lago. I imagine they're listening to everything that goes on with him right now. And then Roger Stone was all over Alex Jones's texts and Alex Jones had child porn in his texts. MSNBC said the FBI veteran said Trump clearly was the target. Trump appointed the FBI director and the judge who signed the warrant for the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And Trump has finally reached the find out phase of the F around and find out situation. And Scott Perry's phone has been seized. That's the list I've got so far. I would imagine it's going to expand dramatically. But I thought I'd do a few reads and find out just exactly what was going on. Did the Alex Jones text really lead to any of these further stories? I'm kind of curious. And I'd love a great big yes on this, so I got to take my reading with a grain of salt. It may be wishful thinking. So, did Alex Jones' texts lead to any of these following stories? Did Alex Jones' texts lead to any of these following stories? This is pretty good. I kind of like this. Somebody's heart's not in it. They couldn't make a decision. Their magic has disappeared. And it's taken the crown down a little further off of the emperor's head. I kind of like that one. So let's see if we can get a further answer on that. Let's see. I'm gonna try these. Did Alex Jones' texts lead to any of these further following stories? Did Alex Jones' texts lead to any of these further following stories? Did Alex Jones' texts lead to any of these following stories? Well, we've got a yes here. The Three of Cups is hardy and hardy over this one. The Seven of Swords says maybe. But then it's followed, oops, by the Knight of Pentacles, which is another yes. So I'd say the answer is yes. Some of the stories following Alex Jones's text being released pretty much did lead to some of this extra fun that we've been giggling about for a little while. Okay, what else can we do here? Okay, let's see. Is Bannon bringing on extra trouble for himself for his on-air call for violence on Fox? Will Bannon's on-air call for violence lead to further trouble for Steve Bannon? Will Steve Bannon's on-air calling for violence lead to more problems for him? We've got quite the read here. I'm using Lilac Lantern's Oracle deck. I do enjoy this one. First, I got intoxication. Then we got at home. So he's drinking at home alone. All is right in his world as far as he sees it, drunk at home alone. He's getting paid for what he's saying, and he's saying it on the air, just as we said on Fox News. So this is just for entertainment purposes, but it kind of seems like he's got a bit of trouble of his own. What else can we do? Okay, did Alex Jones's text lead to Roger Stone being connected to January 6th? Did Alex Jones's text connect Roger Stone to January 6th? Did Alex Jones's text lead to Roger Stone being connected with January 6th? And do keep in mind we need to look at these reads with a grain of salt because I'm having a ball with this one. I'm sorry. It's the funniest thing. I don't feel sorry for these people. But they're going to do what they're going to do. Okay, we've got a good reading here too. He's helping take the emperor down, so I think this says he pretty much has something to do with it. This is what he says or what he said to Alex Jones. He is guilty of being involved in January 6th, but he may be losing a little here because the truth is coming out. Sounds like he helped Roger Stone out a little bit. And MSNBC FBI veteran said that Trump was clearly the target and cause for the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Is Trump the target for the raid on Mar-a-Lago? Is Trump the target for the raid on Mar-a-Lago? Is Trump specifically the target for the raid on Mar-a-Lago? Oh, for right now, we're not necessarily going to find any of that out. There are a lot more people involved than anybody thinks. This is the moon, so something is hidden. It's what he sees. And that one is what he knows. He knows he's the target. Now, I also watched Irish Granny Tarot, her take on it, and she was quite funny. I did enjoy her. I love her stories. So you might want to check hers out. She did one on the raid on Mar-a-Lago. It's a good one. Well, I guess that's all I have for right this moment, other than to say be safe, leave some comments below, like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I hope you enjoyed this and leave me some questions. I'll give you some tips on survival and I'll answer your questions as I get them. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.